Yo, what's going on, guys? CultofMush back at it with another video, and in this video, I'm going to be talking about the upcoming changes to the Steam store. A post over on NeoGAF says that Steamworks developers are being notified of upcoming Steam store changes that should be rolling out over the next few weeks. All of the different changes are listed, and I just want to go over them, give my thoughts on them, because the Steam store has been around for a long time, and over the years, it does see slight changes, but this seems to be a larger refresh than in recent years. Obviously, all of this is subject to change depending on feedback, but let's go over what has been listed. I'll leave a link to the forum thread in the description box down below as well if you guys want to follow along with what I'm saying. First of all, there's going to be a homepage visual refresh. The Steam homepage will be getting a visual refresh to use bigger game images in some places, add some new ways of surfacing games, and remove some visual clutter. I don't really think that's too big of a deal. Honestly, I don't think the Steam store gets too cluttered as far as the images go, but I guess if they do want to change it up a little bit, it can be improved. They're going to add additional left column navigation. The left column of navigation on the homepage will be getting a new section of links to the main destinations such as new releases, top sellers, recently updated, upcoming releases, and specials. When logged in, there will also be links to sections for you such as popular among friends, recommendations by curators you follow, and your discovery queue. So I guess this goes hand in hand with the first thing I said. If they want to add more navigation tools, then they're going to have to keep the cluttering to an absolute minimum, so I guess that's where the homepage visual refresh comes in. Now there's going to be a friends activity section. We're adding a prominent new popular among friends section right of the homepage that will highlight what your friends have been buying and playing. I'm actually a big fan of that. I have a lot of friends on my friends list, and it's always interesting to see what they're playing and buying, especially during a Steam sale when I just see people dropping hundreds upon hundreds of dollars. It's hilarious to me. I mean, I do the same, so I'm sure they get a kick out of it too. Right now, if you want to see what your friends are buying, I believe you have to go to the community section and then go to home or activity, something like that. But after this friends activity gets implemented, it's going to be a lot smoother. And I actually like that. I do think that friends activity should be prominently featured in the store page, because if something's featured and you see your friends are playing it, there's a much higher chance that you're going to end up buying it too. So I think that's a great addition. They are adding top selling new releases, which is going to be a new section to the homepage for new releases that have reached the top sellers list, and I think this is a fantastic addition. I've always talked about how Steam releases a lot of games to the point of maybe too many games, if that's something to complain about. And the thing is, a lot of the lower key games do get shoved under the radar, so at least for a little bit, having a top selling new releases page will allow some of the best games that have been released recently to get some more promotion and to be featured a little bit more prominently, and I do think developers really deserve that, especially the lower key developers where they are investing a lot of money in developing an indie game, and if they don't get featured that much, they're just not going to reach the maximum potential of sales. Next up, there's global customer preferences, which are new options for users to specify their preferences for which product types they wish to see across the entire homepage. Rather than managing each section individually, this will let customers opt to exclude particular types of products such as early access, software, videos, and VR from appearing on their Steam homepage and on a couple other browse pages. That's a very good addition as well. A lot of people hate early access games. A lot of people have no use for the software on Steam. Nobody's buying movies on Steam, and a large majority of Steam users don't even have VR, but you see all of that stuff on the homepage. And for a lot of people, who really cares about all that stuff? So it'll be nice to just exempt all of them from appearing on the homepage. Next up, this goes hand in hand with the top selling new releases, targeted visibility for new releases. Changes to the initial launch visibility of new titles to better reach appropriate customers. While we previously granted 1 million impressions of each new titles on the homepage, this approach was not scaling well and was an inefficient method of reaching the right potential customers. Click-through rates for most titles featured in this section were low, and it had become clear that not every new release is relevant to every user. We think we can do better. With the upcoming changes, newly released titles will appear in a few different ways on the new on Steam page and in the new on Steam queue. The goal is to reach a more engaged group of customers and drive more relevant traffic directly to your store page. This change should result in your title appearing to a smaller but better targeted group of potential customers based on their preferences and taste. New releases will continue to be recommended to specific users on Steam homepage and can appear in popular lists if doing well. And then they're also doing targeted visibility for game updates. That's the same thing, but for games that you own, you'll see updates appearing more regularly. There's gonna be more Steam curator options. And there's gonna be curators in the main capsule banner. That banner will be updated to include titles recommended by Steam curators that users follow. And finally, there's improved Steam curator presence. Users will see a specific section on the homepage that highlights recent recommendation. This space can include popular new releases or smaller niche titles depending on which curators the user is following. This section is being improved to show off games in a better way. Additionally, we're creating a new landing page to highlight many of the titles recommended by all curators the users follow. So a lot of improvements to the UI of the Steam store page, which I think is great, especially in this new era where there's so many games being released on Steam. Yes, there's a market for a lot of them, but the goal for Valve and Steam right now is to maximize their space that they have on the store page. What to promote to different consumers and how they promote it is very, very important when there's so many different options and games to pick from. Absolutely nobody can afford every single game that comes out on Steam, so every game really has to be targeted towards users that would be interested in those games. So a lot of changes coming to the Steam store. I know for a lot of you guys this probably doesn't mean much, but I'm always interested in these business style changes that Valve's doing and promoting their content. It's always very interesting, and the Steam store has been something that's been evolving for a while. I remember a half decade ago it looked a lot different than it does currently, but I do think it's improving for the better. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Like I said, I will leave a link to the forum thread down below, and you guys can check out everything there. As always, guys, thanks for watching. If you have a request for a future video, you can also leave that in the comment section down below, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.